Hello, we're back for the final call. Starts and your art is over. It has been the most incredible experience. I am so happy and grateful to everybody who took part and joined in. And this session today is just to wrap it up. I like to just end with an informal gathering. I call it a party because why not? Where we just get together and just recap on the event, recap on your takeaways, what your next steps are going to be, and celebrate what you've learned. Some of you, maybe it's, actually realizing that you have to say the work is for sale. It can be really small takeaways that actually lead to big transformations. So never underestimate the small parts of what you have learned in the last week that could be the game changer of you actually going out there and selling. And so let me know in the chat, what was your one takeaway from the event so far? I'd love to know in the chat. What did you take away? What was your one big lesson from the workshops? And yes, look at the post-it notes. It's amazing. I'm just so happy. It makes me so happy to see our community growing, because the more people we have inside our community, the more it enriches the whole experience, because the more experience we have, the more global people we have that bring questions to the group, that bring lessons to the group. And so the more art that is shared, and it just makes the whole experience so much better, when we have so many more members. Also the thing is, when we have members, we can get great guests to come in. And so we do have amazing guests lined up for the rest of this year that want to come into the membership, because they want to share their knowledge with you. And so yeah, we've got USA, Canada. Someone said yesterday we need somebody to join from South America. Well, they did. I got someone joining from Argentina. Lots of people from Ireland. I think I need to get over to Ireland. USA. I'll be in the USA later this year, so we're going to have a meetup there. In fact, my next step, I said to Marita, my next step is to plan out when I'm going to be where, so I can organise some member meetups where I'll be there. But we do have member meetups without me there. They happen without me. You don't have to have me there. We do have lots of members, and that's the thing we'd encourage you all to do when you sign up. We'll teach you this. We're going to welcome you in for the next week. Next week, we'll have a week of welcome, and we'll help you navigate your way around the site and the platform and be there to answer any questions that you have. And we'd encourage you in that first month to go into the directory, and you can go and search for people that are in your area, and you can go and chat to each other. It's so amazing. And I'll be doing that because I've got some trips scheduled this year. So I'll be going into Circle to find out who's in the area, but I'll obviously put a note out in the whole community. But yeah, we've got lots of people joining from the Netherlands, and I'm going to be in the Netherlands. So loads of people joined from the Netherlands this time. We have a couple of people from Belgium. Obviously loads of people from the UK. We've got more people from Croatia, which will make our Croatian members very happy. Lots of people from Germany too. Couple of people, I said Portugal, Cyprus, Finland. A couple of people from Finland have joined. Yeah, France, Spain. Quite a few people from Spain. Lots of people from Croatia. Look, I put you together. Thailand. I'm not sure if we've got anybody else from Thailand. You might be our first member who lives in Thailand. Lots of people from Australia. Our community leader, Marita, is based in Australia. And then lots of people from New Zealand. So, oh, and South Africa. Let's not forget South Africa. Here's my finger going there. Libby said, I only joined up and got an invite to a meetup today in my area, but I have to work that day. Is each post-it one person or more? No, one person. So each post-it is one person, and it has their name on and the country. And I do this every time. And then I've got a big box underneath my desk. I've been doing this for years now, the post-it note wall, and I've got a box underneath my desk with all the post-it notes in, and one day I'm planning on doing like a big installation somewhere with all the post-it notes. And in fact, those who joined in January, there was a couple of reasons I didn't do it. What a really lame excuse. I ran out of post-it notes, and then there was some other things going on. I didn't do the wall in January, but I will be turning you all into post-it notes. Don't worry if you joined in January. Oh yes, Monique is in South Africa as well. Monique is already a member, so you've got a friend now. I know South Africa is a large place, but Athena, hello. Anthea, sorry. Anthea. Oh, gosh, sorry. I think I need a day off after this. I realise I have a small art gallery. I can't get my words out. Breathe, Michelle. Okay, let's start again. I realise I have a small gallery very near to me, so I'm inspired to ask them their price point and see if they might take some of my work. As always, thank you. Can't afford to pay this year. And then your message disappears. But I'm just so glad, Anthea, that you're in a position now where you feel confident enough to go to that gallery and ask the right questions. Like, that is a game changer compared to where you were a week ago. You're going to go in now armed with some information to go, what's your price points, and have that confidence to do that. Michelle's on the water again. I am. Oh dear, I am. I'm slurring my words. I'm not drinking, I promise. Monique says, my biggest takeaway was that my students are also buyers. Yes, we often overlook this, that a lot of people are like, oh, I just keep attracting artists and my students. But yes, they are related to your artwork. And actually, Sharon finds that a lot of her students buy, and also the artists that follow her buy too. And I know that you want to expand beyond that, and that's a great goal to have. But sometimes we overlook what is literally on our doorstep. And Laura Rainbow inside our community says the same. She runs workshops, and a lot of people that come in and run the workshops buy the art that she has for sale. So yes, I thought of selling my artwork and giving it a service, but they are all buyers. So I'll transfer these ideas to all areas of my earnings, teaching and art making. And Monique, that's such a great way to move forwards, because if you can combine all of that together, it just makes your life so much easier. Okay, yes, I'm in. Oh, yeah. So you're in Argentina but living in Paris. Okay, but we've got Argentina on the wall. We'll take that. Claire says, this has been an amazing week. One big lesson was to keep a sketchbook journal to record the process of making art. This will help with writing stories and understanding my art. Yes, those annotations, keeping that sketchbook. You could even take little photographs, put it into your sketchbook, or even just do little thumbnails. I mean, I could show you mine very really quickly. I'm going to go and grab one of mine if I can find them. Hold on. I don't know whether I mean, this one's a really old one. This one's a really old one from uni. So, but I would literally like take photographs, and I would write underneath them, what they were about, what I was doing. Here's some ones that I was working on. So I took photographs of them, put them in. And this is me recording the process, recording formulas for what I did, so I can replicate the same texture or the look and feel again. But it's also capturing why I created it. What was I thinking? What was I doing? And it's all documented in these sketchbooks. I've got loads of these sketchbooks. And that was me. Oh, this is so nice. So I was meant to do this, but this is really nice looking back. So these were all the pieces that I created that I needed frames for. And I wrote all the frame sizes that I needed. Oh, framing. I measured all my pieces, starting to group them together, ensure that they're suitable sizes. Sorry, I'm reminiscing now. Yeah, there we go. Look. So yeah, that's it. I really recommend doing that. It's lovely. Oh, and these were my first ever business cards. some of my pieces. So anyway, there we go. Yes. Thank you, Claire, because you've just taken me down memory lane pulling that out. Aviva says my one takeaway, well, a few. Um, Sorry, that's okay. Confident to share my work with anyone and everyone. Feeling 100% fine. Calling myself an artist. Yes. Confident to now make more work and sell it. Thank you. That's brilliant. Aviva, I'm so happy. Oh, I love this one. I realized the stuff I was trying to sell was the stuff I'm not passionate about at all. No wonder it wasn't selling. I know. And it sometimes can be such a hard realization. And I just want to share that, oh, if you're in that stage thinking, gosh, yeah, this isn't what I want. I've been trying to imitate other people, or I've been, pursuing the work, got into a rut, not even realized that I actually don't connect with it anymore. Please don't despair. This is part of growing as an artist. It's about the journey. So yeah, thank you for sharing that one, because that's a really big one, isn't it? Or it might just be that you've lost the passion and you need to find the passion again. So it might be that you've been making the same kind of thing for a long time, and it's the same with anything. If we keep going on holiday to the same place over and over and over and over and over again, it becomes stagnant. It becomes so familiar that we take it for granted. And it's the same with the art, isn't it? And sometimes we've got to take a step back. I was talking to a friend about this, actually. She said she gets so tunnel visioned in the same art that she makes over and over and over and over again. And actually, she's just creating some time to play for the first time in years with completely different materials, completely different way of working. And not only is it kind of invigorating for her, because she's now tapping into parts of the brain that haven't been tapped into for a long time. It's that break from that art there. Just give it a break for a little while. Step away from it. Try something else. Go on holiday somewhere else. And then come back and we go, oh, yes, I've missed you. Or we realize, actually, I don't miss you. And actually, now I'm going to evolve. So it's all a twist and turny journey. It's not a straight line, is it? Let me just see. Lots of you tuning in from Australia, from the UK. Hello, it's so good to see you all. Sandy's tuning in from Portugal. Hello. Let me just check the chat. So we're wrapping up now with your biggest lessons from Start Selling Your Art so far. And if you want to join us inside the hub, enrollment closes in 45 minutes. It all shuts down. If you have any last questions and you want to join us, please do reach out. I had questions coming in just in the last 24 hours asking things like, do you think that I'll fit in with the community? And I honestly have never had anybody say they've left because they didn't feel part of the community. People in the comments now will tell you it is the most adorable, supportive, non-judgmental community. It's a safe space, and the reason we've created it as a safe space is for you to be able to post without any fear of judgment. And we make that clear in the onboarding that, please, when people are posting, don't pass judgment, only give advice if someone's asking for it. And if we do that, it's all good, and be kind. And it's really simple rules in our community, but they work, and we have an ethos of giving back. And so we do encourage that if you're asking for help, go and like someone else's posts at the bare minimum, or share a nice comment on someone else, or try and answer a question if somebody else needs some help. And that self-fulfilling community of give back, and it will come back tenfold for you. So, and I do that because I'm part of a community where we do that, and it works so well. It's really lovely. So please don't sit on the fence and not join if you feel scared or intimidated by the community, because honestly, it's so lovely. And lots of people asking, like, do I need to want to sell? That was a question that came in today. I'd like to join, but I don't want to sell. And the way we've structured the hub content it's around making, showing, selling, those three buckets. And the roadmap, when you follow the roadmap, will take you towards the direction of selling. You don't have to use the roadmap. You can stay at the beginning stages of the roadmap and never progress to the selling part if that's where you feel comfortable. You don't even need to follow the roadmap. You can just go straight into the hub and use the content. There's lots of lessons in there around making art, developing a collection of work, finding your voice. And so, and there's lots of artists in our community that don't want to sell. I mean, David Judd is here now. He joined me and he said, I'm coming, but I don't want to sell. And I was like, that's fine. But he ended up selling to members in the community because he created an artwork and everybody wanted to buy it. So even though he didn't want to sell it, he was talked into selling in the end from all the members, which was really lovely. So yes, and then people were asking as well what our next lessons are coming up soon. We have a lesson coming up in April. We have two. One of them is how to how to set up an automation on Instagram. It sounds very complicated, but it isn't. So you might have seen on our posts, we say, type UAS Hub in the comments below if you're interested, and it will send a link to that person through a direct message. It's really easy to do. Even I can do it, and you can set it up very, very fast, and it's free. You don't have to pay for it. And so in today's world on Instagram, where we used to say DM me or go and get the link, it's in the bio, this way of sending a link instantly, just getting someone to type a comment in, is so amazing, and it's working really well. So we've got a lesson showing you how to use that. Again, you can use that at any age, any stage. And then also I have some really exciting training coming from my mentor, who is going to be sharing if you ever wanted to set up a membership site or teach your art in that way. He's going to be sharing the 4 ways you could set up a membership site of your own. And then ongoing, we've got and Marita will have to remind me, but we've got some lessons specifically towards selling. And inside, we've just had someone come in to do a Facebook ad training called Zach's Buckler, and he's a complete and utter expert on this. He's been running ads for 10 years plus, and he did a step-by-step training of how to set your ads up. And then we're also in talks with some artists who are going to come in and do some demos too. So yeah, they're the kind of things that we have coming up. And then obviously lots of member meetups too, if you are interested in meeting in person or virtually, because we do run virtual meetups as well. Okay, right, let's get back to the start selling your art. Yes, more people from Canada. Doesn't look like they were close to me, unfortunately. Oh, please don't judge the location on there in terms of where they actually are. Because I've put some people in Alaska and they're definitely not in Alaska. It's like the vicinity. So they could be literally on your doorstep, Michelle. Bettina says, my biggest takeaway was to understand the importance of the story to make a sale. Yeah. And what I loved was about yesterday's session where we started, it was in the boot camp, and we started to get you to kind of write your stories, and people were sharing their stories on the screen. And what was really interesting was we could look at their stories and start to ask why. And this is something I want you all to take away, is when you write something about your work, try and go a bit deeper under the surface of it a little bit more. Literally, you can pull out so many parts. Somebody was in the Facebook group today I was reading saying they came up with a bit of a statement about why they make their art, and I can't remember who it was, so I apologize, but she was saying, you know, this is why. And she came up with a few keywords and was like, I don't really know how to tell a story about it. Here's the keywords. And there was about 4 or 5 keywords that were like intuitive and flowers and things like that. Oops. And then this is all it takes was someone else to come back and say, well, why this? You know, why do you go down this road? And then she came back and said, well, the reason I do it is because I was in a really stressful job, and that's why I started making art in the first place. And she was like, oh my gosh, there's my story. Like, this is the thing. Sometimes we just feel like we haven't got a story. We haven't got anything to say. I want everyone else to figure it out. But these simple little stories, like, how many of you can relate to feeling really stressed at work? And that's how this artist began making. And I just know There'll be people out there that just instantly resonate with that, and boom, you're making connections, and that's what we're trying to do here is make as many connections as possible. The more you can do that, it's like ding, 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 like sparks going off, and people start gravitating towards you because they're connecting with you. Nobody wants to follow someone that they haven't got a connection with. We're busy people. No one's going to follow you if they've got no interest in what you're doing. So if you can spark interest in people, they go, oh gosh, yeah, I relate to that. I was burnt out as well. Right, I'll follow you. And then the more you can kind of keep that together, which is where that thread throughout your work comes in, then you retain those people. So yeah, I love that one about the storytelling. And that's what is great about the hub. When you come and join the hub, you'll have these conversations now. You'll drop your work in and say to people, here's my keywords. Can you help me pull out some stories here? And it can take one person to go back and say, why did you make it like this? And you go, I don't know, good question. And then a story pops out of you. And that's what I love about our community. And that's why the more people we have, the more conversation we have, the more someone else will see something in your work that you've never seen. And they'll go, well, I see it like this. And you go, wow, I've never seen my art from that perspective before. And so the more you have these conversations, and I encourage everybody who's signing up, I know that being on a platform like Circle, where our community is, can be really daunting, especially because it's not on Facebook. We're accustomed to Facebook. We'll happily just post anything on Facebook and have a little moan and post our dinner and tea. But then when it's in Circle, you're like, oh, who are these people? But I really encourage you to come and share your work, share what you're working on. If you're having a bad day and you're struggling with your art, come and share it. Ask the community to help and guide you. If you're winning, if you've had progress, come and share it with us. If you're stuck with a little bit of your bio, come and post it in and ask for people to just say, where am I going wrong here? We've also got a separate post that Marita is going to start posting on a monthly basis, where you can post external links if you want someone to take a look at your website and say, how do you think this looks from a user point of view? And you can all help each other. So yeah, it's the hub is a platform with the most amazing resources, and I'm not even lying because some people say it's worth this. It really is worth thousands if you break everything down that you've got inside that platform. And that's one part of it, that you're accessing the resources. But I really, truly believe the gold comes from the community, comes from what you're going to learn from other artists, putting their art into practice, finding their voice, creating collections, finding people, the questions they ask. That to me is where the gold is, and feeling that support when you feel like you're going to have a wobble, or you're not sure of what step to take next, and you just need some reassurance or guidance. So yeah, wow, I went on a massive tangent then. Right, let's bring it back. Oh, good, Claire, I'm glad seeing the sketchbook helped you. Ilaria, hello, Naughty Corner. I'm so late to the whole thing. This is the first video. You just wanted to come to the party, Ilaria. Join the hub, everyone. It's great. Laria. Laria has been a member for a long time, is based in the UK. And we met up. Laria came to an event of mine. So we've met up a couple of times now. Rafika's tuning in from Tunisia. Lovely. And yes, there are lots of meetups, like Angela said, there's lots of meetups happening all the time, and there's lots of members organizing them. If you want to arrange a meetup in your local area, or you want some help reaching out to people, you can drop a comment, you can reach out to Marita. We'll help create the post for you to say, anybody else in Finland want to meet up? And then we'll create the event and let everyone know that that's happening. So oh, thank you, Aviva. Best thing I ever did was joining. Yes, the community is the best. Best community ever. Yeah, look at this. Oh, Linda, late in. Watch boot camp today. We'll try not to fall asleep. Or is it late for you, Linda? Oh, I hope you enjoy boot camp. Yes, it is like having an extended family. Yeah, it is. Um, yeah, I love this. Kate says, "I feel like I know a lot of the members who their posts, even though I've never actually met them." Yeah, it's lovely. Jenny says, "I joined in January after thinking about it for a couple of years. Glad I did. The resources are fantastic." Oh, we're glad that you did too, Jenny. Um, Oh, Julie's new. Hello, Julie. It's so good to have you overwhelmed with technology. So hopefully, well, don't worry because I had someone else reach out actually to say this, to say I just hate technology. Um, and we have created onboarding videos that are step by step, like press this, then you click here to download. And our support team is absolutely fantastic. So if you need any help with like, how do I access the site? How do I access the community? There's also a welcome pack when you join. So you've got a welcome pack that you can print out, and that has step by step how to access everything. So you can print that out and have that by your side. Um, and like starting anything new, it can be overwhelming at the beginning, but we have everything in place to support you. So we will do everything we can to help you settle in and welcome. Thank you for joining. Um, um, Anna's asking, does the hub mainly come from Facebook? We no, the hub is not on Facebook. It is a separate platform that's on Circle. So we have our own separate community on Circle now, and we decided to do that because there are no adverts. We're hearing a lot of people complaining about Facebook groups at the moment in terms of the algorithms, and someone will post a question and then 3 days later no one's seen it because it hasn't shown the admins and they haven't had a response. And so like we found Facebook to be really frustrating in the end, and it was deleting my videos saying that I was breaching copyright. So we've now got our own platform on Circle. It's safe as well, and it's not being monitored like Facebook is, where everything's been tracked. So we love Circle. We think it's brilliant. Let me see. Okay, so I'm going to go to some more of yes, come to the UK. I should have been in Canada this year. I was supposed to be speaking at an event, but the event was cancelled. Um, let me just see. Oh, yes, there's conversation about ADHD. Yes, I have ADHD and dyslexia and a load of other things as well that I can't pronounce. um, so everything, because of that, everything is broken down. And we're breaking everything down into the next steps. Most videos are less than 15 minutes, 10 minutes long. We try and keep them to 10 minutes. The live sessions aren't, they're usually 1 hour. But when we're teaching something, if a guest comes in, we ask them to keep it under 10 minutes, just so you can just concentrate on a little bite-sized chunk at a time. The only video that we've done recently that exceeds that was the Facebook ad training, because that's quite a lengthy process. But all of the videos are little tiny bite-sized, broken down. Yeah. Let me just see. Okay, so I'm going to go now to some of the comments that were sent in. Agnes says, thank you so much for the workshops. It makes me want to explore art galleries and exhibitions. So far, I've sold only to friends. And now this has gone from 0 to 10 regarding my willingness to sell. How incredible is that? And a lot of this is that desire, and it's about maintaining that excitement to go out there and do it, because as we know, when we do these workshops or we sign up for these things, it kind of fizzles out afterwards, doesn't it? And that's where the hub is so great, because we're going to keep that momentum going. So I'm glad that you feel that way, Agnes. Arlene says, it's really got me thinking that I'm okay with selling, but I've also had comments like, but what is it? And I feel okay now replying to that. Isn't it? I love reading these aha moments that you've had, because I think for all of us, sometimes we go into these like big workshops thinking that, okay, I've got to apply everything that I've learned to make progress, but you really don't. It's really good to absorb everything that we've spoken about and be aware of those different types of customers, the different ways of attract, engage, convert. It's good to know knowledge is power and knowledge is useful, but it's about bringing it back to, okay, where am I right now? And what's the one next step that I can take out of this training to help me move forwards? And so that's what we're working on inside the hub continuously, which is why every month we have a review plan do session. So we send you a worksheet to fill in, and it helps you review the month just gone, and drill into what your goals were. Did you hit them? What went well? What didn't go well? And then we start to help you make a plan for the following month so that you're really tuned in on what your next 1 to 3 rocks are for the month ahead. And we do that on a monthly basis. And it's so incredible because it keeps us all accountable. We all, it, like if you just sail through the year, it will literally just go away. I just feel like that already. Like we're in the first quarter of the year already. The first quarter of the year has gone. 3 quarters left. And so that check-in on a monthly basis to stop and pause and go, right, the month has come to an end. What the heck just happened? Right, okay, what is it that I really want to focus on next month? Where am I going in the next 90 days? So we look at the next 90 days and figure out, where are you going? Right, what are the next steps that you need to focus on so that you can end the year on a high? We do actually have training inside, if you've never done anything like this before, about thinking ahead of how you want to plan and end your year and help you create a vision for your life. There's training on that inside the hub too. It's called Best Year Yet. I run it in January. So if you've only just found us, you'll have access to that training too, where you can just reconnect again with, what is it that I want? How do I want my life to look? How do I want to feel this year? How do I want to spend each day? And then create a plan to make that happen, and we'll keep you accountable. Sarah said, yes, the workshop helped me work out that I paint and draw whatever gives me a good, positive, emotional response. People even seen my art 1 year ago was terrifying. I'm working towards being a full-time paid artist with regular income to be a creative and sell ultimately. Oh, and look at the transformation, Sarah, in, you were saying 1 year ago, putting your art out there was absolutely terrifying, and now you're taking those steps. I think that's such a great point to bring up right now, because there could be people sitting here that haven't got an artwork. I've had people reach out saying, I haven't got any artwork. And that, or maybe you are making, but you feel absolutely terrified. Maybe you've taken part in these workshops and you think, there's no hope for me because I can't even say it's for sale. I don't even understand why I make it. I just know I need to make it. And if that is you, don't worry, because the answers are there inside of you. Don't go away from this thinking, this is never going to happen to me, I'm the exception to the rule, because that's wrong. And I don't want to sit here and say that it's easy, because it isn't, but it's simple. I was saying this in boot camp, that someone said to me, you make it all sound so easy. And I said, yeah, but it isn't easy. It isn't. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's easy to get you in and go, it's easy, you can start selling your art. It's not. And I recognize that, which is why we pull all this together to help you. But it can be so simple. And it is simple, but we complicate it. We're the people who have the hang-ups about figuring this out, or not being able to identify the story, or overcomplicating it with having a million things that we're trying to do at once, or all these things. Or we actually see an opportunity and we don't take it because of the fear, and we make up stories instead about why it's not the right time, or why we can't afford it, or I don't have the right resources, I don't have the right place. I use those excuses for years, that I'm not making my art because I don't have a studio, and then I built a studio, and then I still wasn't doing it. And there was always a reason why I wasn't doing it. And then I thought, hold on a minute, there's got to be something more here because I have all the opportunities now to do it and I'm still not doing it. So, um, yeah, remembering that it's not easy, but it's simple. And it sounds like a paradox, but it's so true that the more we just simplify everything as well, the easier it gets. But there will still be moments where it's hard because we're growing and growth causes pain. They're growing pains for a reason. It's uncomfortable, it hurts. And remember that when you are growing, that yes, it is going to hurt and you are going to get confused and you are going to feel like you don't belong at sometimes, or you're out your depth and oh gosh, what am I doing? Why have I signed up for this? Who am I kidding? Those moments, the valley of despair. It's all your growing pains. And things will go wrong. You're going to get something wrong. You might price something the wrong way. You might have a show and you might forget to invite everybody. You might package something in the wrong way and it breaks. And yes, those things might happen. And it's knowing that everyone makes mistakes and that is part of the journey. It's part of learning. You learn by doing. If something breaks and you ship it, you apologize. You either make the work and send it again or you refund them and you learn. And next time you'll learn how to package it properly. um, and so, yes, this whole journey of being sometimes afraid to take the next step because we're so scared of doing it wrong, when actually we've got to be open to just doing it and making mistakes, not on purposely trying to make mistakes, but being open to just doing it and knowing that whatever happens, you can find a solution. Again, that's where the hub comes in. If you make a mistake, come to us and we'll help you fix it. Or you get the next question like, this comes up a lot. I've been asked to ship the work overseas. I don't know what to do. How do I insure it? How do I post it? How do I package it? You've got all the lessons inside the hub and the support to help you with those questions that crop up. If you've been approached with a licensing deal, you've got a whole licensing lesson from Maria Brophy, who's an expert, showing you the steps of how to navigate that. In fact, Maria's coming in as a guest again soon to refresh the licensing lessons that we have and to do a talk with you all inside the hub if you want to learn how to create one artwork and make recurring revenue again and again, like Drew did. He sold that one artwork for $4,000 or something, and it's made $500,000 one artwork through licensing. Still makes him money sitting right now. He's got money going into his bank account as we speak from one artwork. So Maria's coming in to do a talk with us, which will be lovely. On that, we're just having a chat at the moment about when we can do that. So yes, let me go back to the chat. Yes, life happens when we are always learning. Yes. Yeah. Sabina says, I'm always terrified when new opportunities arise, but courage is rewarding. With the deal concluded, a painting sold, or a new experience and knowledge. Yes. Yes. And it is terrifying. Yeah. I'm like that right now. I've got opportunities. I've been brave and I've reached out. This is the other thing I want to share as well when you do the power hours. It is completely normal to do the power hours and you start to freak out. You start to see other people out there doing amazing things and you start to compare yourself to them. And this is part of learning how to be around this in the world because it's not going to go away, and learning how to stay in your own lane and show up anyway, despite what everyone else is doing. I get it myself. I've got people who do exactly what I do in abundance now. I've been doing this 8 years. There weren't many people teaching this stuff when I started out 8 years ago. There really wasn't. And now there's loads of people, and it's easy for me to kind of think, well, what's the point of me doing it? There's all these people now, or people do it better than me, blah, 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 blah. Like, you'll probably feel that when you're doing a power hour. And you've got to just go back to I am me, and there's a place for me, because there's a place for you in the art world. And if it hurts so much, just ignore them, block, delete, don't look at these people if they make you feel inferior. And the other thing that might crop up is that when you start to do the power hours, you might start to see people who relate to your art in some way, but you're going to feel terrified to reach out to them. You're going to maybe put them on a pedestal of being this person who, why would they speak to you? And you might resist. I've again been going through this myself recently as I prepare for wrapping up the book and I'm reaching out to people. And I've had to really be brave and reach out. And I've reached out based on stories and connected with the most incredible people that blow my mind, like people I look up to that I've put on a pedestal, but they're just people at the end of the day. And the reason that these people are saying yes now is simply because I've got behind something and shared stories with them, and they've said yes. And so just just saying that, because I just want you to know all those feelings are completely normal. And if you're feeling that terrified, just choose the next step that feels comfortable, but pushes you a little bit to feel uncomfortable, and send the message. Reach out to the person, even if you don't know what you're saying. But if you're in the hub, by the way, you've got templates to download. It can be easier. You can download a template that actually writes out how to go and approach somebody that you don't know. I've written it out for you, how I do it. And all you do is you replace it with your own bits and bobs, your own name, why you do what you do, and send it off. I've even written emails for you that if someone subscribes to your email list, I've written, I think it's 5 or 6 emails I've written that you can send back to your people when they subscribe to your email to help them engage with you and understand who you are. You literally just copy and paste it. Done it for you. um okay. Yeah, simple but hard. And accepting that anything that we do that requires, you know, pushing to the next level out of our comfort zone is going to be hard, and accepting that's not going to be easy. There will be easy parts, and the more you do things, like it's reach out to that person, feel the rejection, don't get a response, and then you go back and go, okay, I didn't get a response, then let's follow up. That's painful. I've got to now put myself out there again to be rejected. Maybe they're not going to reply again, and how hurtful is that going to be? But you're growing with every pain that you feel in that rejection. You are growing that resilience. And next time you try again and you try again, and then you get the yes, and you realize that out of a certain amount of numbers, someone is going to say yes. If they don't, I had this yesterday. Someone said to me, no, I message and I keep asking people, everyone says no. And I just think, well, if that's happening and you're doing the same thing over and over and over again and you're getting the same result, you've got to change the way you do it. I think it's Einstein that said if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expect different results, it's a sign of insanity or something. I may have got that quote a bit wrong. But yeah, if you're repeatedly doing something and you're not getting the result you want, again, it's about asking the right questions. Why is it not working? Okay, maybe it's the way I'm putting myself across. Maybe I need to reword this. Maybe it's not landing with people. Maybe I'm just going ahead there and saying, hey, do you want to work with me? Why would anybody respond to that? It's about building that relationship, maybe finding that connection first between you and that person you're messaging is the answer. And so I think everything relates back to how we connect with people. And I know this can be terrifying for people when you think that you haven't got the social skills, you're an introvert, you don't like talking with people. And if that is the case, it's about reducing it down to putting out your stories and being comfortable with the art that you make, and maybe just connecting with a few people that are going to sell it for you. If you don't want to be that person that is selling and being everywhere, then how can you do it on a very minimal level? Just connecting with a few key people that could sell your work for you, possibly, or get the licensing deal. Yeah, it's a really and this is why it goes back to really thinking about what do you want? How do you wanna live your life? How do you wanna feel? How do you wanna spend each day? And when you get that clarity, then you can put the steps into place. You can ask the right questions, to make it happen. So, um, let me just check the chat before. Okay. Yeah, Michelle said, "Yeah, willingness to sell is such an invisible barrier that we don't even realize it's there." Yeah, because I remember um, when I first, I had this dream to set up United Art Space. I want to be this global thing, and um, I know I'll never forget when I first set it all up. I was absolutely terrified to say that anything was for sale, and I didn't sell anything for years. I just used to do. I don't actually know how I survived those years. When I look back now, I was just doing everything for free, and I don't regret it, by the way, and I wouldn't change any of it because what I realized back then was though I was doing it for free, it was that I was tapping into my passion, and I remember sitting with Sharon, and I share this story a lot, but it stays with me like it was yesterday. And I remember saying to Sharon, because I was really struggling to make any money from United Art Space, and I remember saying to Sharon, "Do you know what? Even if I don't make United Arts Space a success and I don't make any money from it, I'm so happy and fulfilled as a person right now. I feel really content. I feel like the work I'm doing is good, and I feel like I've really found my purpose, and it feels really good, and that to me is gold." And I just think, yeah, I don't know where that story was going, but oh, the barrier to sell, that was it, Michelle. The barrier to sell. And and then I realized, that yeah, I want to carry this on. I really found like I found my thing. I spent decades unhappy as an individual, like on a big level. I was so depressed and so unhappy. And art for me was a therapy. I know now I was never meant to be a full-time artist. That was not my destiny. The art was a therapy and a gateway to this. I know that now. And I think when I got to that point of realizing that this is what I love, this is what I want to do, I want to make this work, and I've been saying this throughout the workshops. It got to a point where I was dilly-dallying, doing these things, not making any money, scared to charge. And when I realized in that moment, this is what I want, and I love this so much, it was a switch. Like, with conviction, I'm going to make this work. I am going to find a way to keep United Art Space going. And I remember people saying to me, this concept that you're thinking, oh, it's not going to work. I had higher people who were earning loads of money giving me this advice. It's not going to work. But there was something in me. I thought, no, I'm going to keep going. Um, and then I realized that, right, to take the next step, it was simple. I needed to say that something was for sale because I knew that if I can't say that something is for sale, then I'm never going to make any money from United Art Space. It was really simple. That's what I need to work on. And that was the next step for me. Work on your confidence to say something is for sale. And that's where I put all my focus and energy. And then when I was able to do that, I sold a few things, still wasn't enough to make a living. So I learned the next thing and the next thing. And this is how it builds. Like, we don't just launch straight into making a full-time living. It grows from each step that you take, and you learn the next thing when you need it. Don't try and learn step 100 when you need step 1. This is the mistake I see people making. They're focusing on all the wrong things. Like, they're not even there, and it's like people are focusing on tax. Why are you focused on tax? You haven't even sold anything. That'll be a nice problem to have when you get there, believe me. But you're a long way from that yet. And even like, excuse me, the websites. Um, sometimes I see people laboring over websites and spending hours and hours and hours and hours on websites. But they haven't even sold anything yet or tested it. And so they filled all the website with all this stuff and haven't even like done the work that we've been doing, thinking about the stories. And so they've spent all these hours on a website that actually, when they go through the program like the Hub, they're gonna have to change it all. And so yeah, it's but I always think anyway, nothing's lost. And if you have spent hours on something and it wasn't the right step, so be it, c'est la vie. Time is never wasted, I don't think. It's always taking you somewhere, but the more you can sharpen up the next steps and make them, you know, um simplistic and easier on yourself, the better, in my opinion. I want to keep my life as simple as possible. Um, okay. Let me just yay! I just joined. I can't wait to discover the Hub. Oh, we'll see you in there. It's so exciting. Excuse me, my voice is going. Aviva, we have a week of welcome next week. I haven't actually mapped out what's happening yet. I need to do that tomorrow or later today. Yeah, David's been in my world since I started. I think David, when I first set up my community, there was only, I think, 10 people, and David was one of the first people to join the community, which was 8 years ago. 8 years ago in April. That's when we stopped. So, and he's a joker. Still giving me grief after all these years. 8 years I've been taking that. See that growing pains. You've been showing me how to handle criticism. Aviva said, honestly, you've opened. I think you're replying to Jodie. You've opened my eyes this morning. I realised I've been so lucky to have been immersed in art my whole life in one way or another. And this wonderful group is my second home now with my art family. Simple. Oh, I love that. And I just think, remember that as well. When you feel overwhelmed, it's about finding your voice, finding your people. That is my mantra. Find your voice, find your people. And I feel like that in anything that I do. Through my book, the book is my voice, and it's part of my voice. It's showing a little part of what I believe in and what I've experienced. And there'll be people who relate to that. And my mission, once it's out in the world, will find the people that relate to that. And that's my job, and that's it. And it's the same with anything that you want to get out in the world. That's your thing, that's your voice. And if you understand enough to connect it with other people, then you've done your job. And then, I just feel like if you stick to that bit, all the other bits, the sales tactics, when the website, the converting, all the things, the retention, and are just things that we can focus on little bit by bit. But that core bit, find your voice, find your people, that to me is what I'm focused on all the time. That messaging, how am I connecting with people? How am I building relationships? Who are my next people? That bit is key always for me, because I feel like everything else just starts to fall into place once you nail that bit. But that's just my opinion. Everyone's going to have a different view on what works, I imagine. Oh, I love this. To put Argentina on the map, even if I'm in Paris. I feel emotional. Oh, don't, because everyone knows I'm a crier. I cry a lot. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Oh, yeah, where focus goes, energy flows, Jodie. That's a good one I always say as well. That's why people play bingo, because I say the same things over and over, because it's simple. It's simple. That's why we say the same things over and over again. Because actually, if you just followed the formula of life, as simple as possible, our formula here: find your voice, find your people, figure out what you want, and then find the next 1 to 3 steps. That's it. That's my formula for now, anyway. Okay, we're going to start wrapping up. David, you'll be surprised that I'm on time. I'm on time. Oh. Linda said, it was during best year. Yeah, I wrote a proposal to a local regional gallery. I'm out of my comfort zone, but I got it. Yes, solo. Oh my gosh. Solo show in 2025. This is what I mean. It can just be one one part of this process that spurs you on to take an action to get in front of that person. Um, and I know how hard it is when you I'm speaking generally now to everybody, when you keep trying, you feel like it's not working. I felt like that for years running this. Honestly, I was trying and trying. I had so many mindset blocks. I had so many hurdles to overcome. My messaging wasn't landing. I couldn't explain what I wanted to do. It was hard. It was really hard, which I say, go back to that desire. If you've got the desire to do something, it keeps you going. And then it gives you that fulfillment as a person that, whatever happens here, it doesn't matter because I found my truth. I found what I love doing. And that is what matters in life. It really is, that you find what is in here calling you, not getting distracted by like, how many reels do I get here and how many likes have I got and all that stuff. It's like, what is happening in here? That's really important. There we go. It's a wrap. I'm going to finish on time. Yes, welcome to everyone who's joining. You've got like literally 3 minutes. If you are a deadline dancer, you are really dancing on the deadline. I just say you've got 3 minutes to sign up. The site closes down automatically. You need to get in fast now if you want to sign up. And if you have any questions, just give us a shout. Take care, my friends. Whatever you do from here, just know we're here. If you're joining the hub, we'll see you in the hub. If you aren't joining us in the hub, go and follow along the Your Art Matters podcast. You can go and tune in and listen to me waffle on every week in your ear. And we've got some exciting guests coming up actually on the podcast. Really exciting. So anyway, take care, my friends, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.